That's the letter. That's one of the two letters. No legal head. Here is the other one. Here is the envelope that came in. Of course, I blacked out the address. I didn't want to dox anybody, but it shows FL is Florida, and it says Miami ahead of that. I blocked out their address. And then it shows that it was stamped out of Brooklyn, New York. There would be an attorney's information on it. It would have to be sent. They've been saying for 3 days that a local veteran from a local VFW delivered it, hand delivered it. But then it comes through the mail today. So, I mean, which is it? There's a stamp on it with a delivery on it. The only person that delivered that was the United States Postal Service that delivers mail here. So, I mean, there's no return address. Well, there is on the thing, but it's got 2 different places. So there's nothing wrote down. T, I didn't even think about it. It probably should have been notarized. But there's no return email, there's no return phone number, and there's no you can write your own letters, but it has to be filed within the courts. Me, would you mind disclosing what state you're in? It is kind of like, even if they wrote their own papers, that's as far as it went. It's like, and I didn't get a first and last name of who I'm not supposed to be talking about. I got a first name. So you gotta be really specific on cease and desist letters, because you're just saying, yeah, exactly. Even what she said, that you can type it all out, but it still has to be filed within the courts. That was not. And as far as just putting a name on there, it would be just like putting, full name would be just like sending it and saying, hey, you can't talk about Jamie. Well, which Jamie? Because there's a lot of Jamies in this world. Good point, James. It didn't even come through certified mail. Oh, they tried to use some legal terms. They threw some $5 words in there to make it look fancy. But they've been claiming all week that they paid this thing of valor, whatever it is. I can't think of the full name. Guardians of Valor, Stolen Valor, whatever they are. They paid someone from our local VFW. How's the food, by the way?
I don't know, but can I read this?
To hand deliver it. Can you read what?
About the cease and desist architecture. It says, yes, you can write your own or send your own cease and desist letter yourself without calling an attorney. This is because the cease and desist letter itself is not legally binding by the issue.
Okay. She was just reading something there that said that you could send your own cease and desist letters. You could type your own cease and desist letter up, but it also says that it's not legally binding, because it ain't been through the courts. But yeah, they've been saying all week, while you're looking something up, look up and see that if Dyer County has a VFW.
It says, I did that we do.
Okay.
But look, it says that they will tell you that you do have to get an attorney involved to take further action.
So they can write one up. This is what she's looking up. Write one up, send it, but to go any further past that, they have to get an attorney. Okay, so. So basically, the first one's not legally binding until an attorney gets involved. Sonny, they know where we stay. It gets and that gets a little scary.
And even then, she would have to put complete contact information on it.
Yeah.
Phone number, everything.
Yeah, and I'd have to have a last name. That's the one thing that really throws up the biggest red flag is there would have to be a last name on there because you would have to be very, very pinpoint who I'm not supposed to be talking about. We do have a VFW here in Dyersburg. I didn't know if we did or didn't.
I didn't think we had one.
We do have one, so. Yeah, the Blueberry, the cease and desist letters that they've been claiming was hand delivered to me Wednesday by somebody that was paid to deliver them. Finally came through the mail today. So, but I'm not worried about it because there's, I mean, Jamie, that is a good idea. Jamie said that if there's a return address, send them one back and tell them that they're mail them a notice that you're putting them on notice about stalking. See, here's the thing, though. Jamie, I don't know if you caught this part. The letter has a return address of Miami, Florida. But the stamp from where it was mailed out of was stamped Buffalo, New York. So it's almost like, where exactly did this come from? Did we get it from Florida or did we get it from New York? So it's kind of really weird, guys. She's over there looking stuff up.
The cease and desist letter is only if you want somebody to stop communicating. It said that
a cease
directly. So basically, you take to get money from somebody and somebody knows you.
Well, yeah, a cease and desist is like, hey, you got to stop talking about me.
Right, and it has nothing to do.
And you can't put a cease and desist on there and inside the cease and desist demand money.
Right, exactly.
And that's in there. It's like, you cannot contact Janet. Janet who? Which Janet? All Janets? I'll die on that hill. I'll defend that one because you got to put a last name. You know, so I can't contact anybody named Janet. But yet you're telling me I have to pay them back. I've got 10 days to do it. But you put in a cease and desist that I've got 10 days to pay her back. You don't get to make that up yourself. So
you was right though about the small claims.
So 10 days, or they're going to take more action against me, is what the letter said. Not in those exact words, but they will exhaust all legal actions, and basically.
You people are so stupid.
I did wish you'd try your food and tell me how it turned out.
I think so. I just had that.
Oh, I looked up a lot. Oh, yeah, guys. We're going to flip my hog steak over.
That's what I have to try, actually.
I don't personally know a lawyer, but I know some people who work in law. Yeah, that's the one thing that gets me. It's like you can't like call and just get something signed on somebody over the phone. Like you have to show your proof and stuff. So they would have to come to Dyersburg, fill out these orders on me and everything. And are you because the food's good, or because you found something else? Possible for the mail to go through New York from Florida, but not legal. I mean, to go from Florida all the way to New York before it's even delivered would be insane. Like that blows my mind.
Actually, I read some more stuff out. The cease and desist letter is maybe somebody that's harassing you.
Y'all give me 1 second to pause. I want to look at these screenshots. I'm getting. Okay. Exactly, Jamie. That's what Angela just said. You know, it's to notify a person to stop harassing or slandering.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to shoot one of them over to old Melissa and all of them over there. You know.
Right.
So, I'm not worried about it, guys. I really ain't. And it's this. Exactly, Jamie. I'm truly not worried about it. If I was worried about it, I wouldn't be on here talking about it. If I thought it held weight and it was actually legal, I wouldn't be on here taking the chance of putting myself into that situation. So, but you know.
Okay.
Yo.
This supper is perfect, just like you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that would be crazy for mail to go from Florida to Michigan or New York and then come back to Tennessee. It would be really insane, but with our system, I don't know, it could have happened that way. It just seems weird to me that the mailing stamp was Buffalo, New York, and the actual address was Miami, Florida. And it could have done that. That could have been the reason for that. But anyway it goes, that the letters that they so-called said for the last 4 days that was hand-delivered to me wasn't. And why would somebody besides me and the person sending them have a copy of the letters? That's another question I have. Like, why would they have a copy of the letters to be able to read on TikTok if they wasn't the person who had them? Jamie, I think the same thing. I think the Florida address was made up because when I Googled the address, It showed me in a big building that had a for lease sign in front of the building. So I think they made up an address and they wasn't thinking about the stamp being stamped where it come from. Because you can write anything down on those as long as the address is going to is the right address. You know, I could write, I could mail a letter tomorrow and write that I'm in Timbuktu and give some address and put on there, but as long as the address that it's going to is right, that's the only one that matters. So I just think it was screwed up on whoever mailed its behalf. What does the postal stamp say? The black mark? It should say county. Hang on a second. So there's the envelope you ought to look at with no doxing, because I blacked out the actual address. Buffalo, New York, exactly. The written address is Miami, Florida. But the other, where it was stamped at the postal office, it says Buffalo, New York. So if the mail takes a long route to get from Florida to Tennessee, or I Googled the whole address. And it could have took the scenic route. That could be the answer to that. But it still doesn't change the fact that for 4 days they said they handed it to me. They paid somebody from our local VFW to hand it to me. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
And that today it finally came through the mail. So if you've been saying for 4 days that it was handed to me, then you lied for 4 days to everybody you've talked to about that. Ron said, hey, beautiful. I'm just going to assume at this point they're talking to you when they say that. Nobody ever calls me beautiful. Ron, I'll have to send you these screenshots of this bullshit letter I got today. So, yeah. If she didn't call me beautiful, there's no way in this world that it's real. Becca Bish. There is no way in this world that letter is anywhere near real. If it is real, I'd come on here and eat crow and tell everybody it was. Okay, let's see if I can do this without burning my finger again. But I doubt that I'm going to have to eat any crow. Well, see, when they first said that I was getting served with these letters, I called the sheriff's department and asked them, hey, I'm being told I'm supposed to get served. I want to call and see if there's any paperwork out for me. for anything. That way I can come on down and take care of it. You ain't got to worry about waiting. Just let me know. I'll come down. Y'all give me the paperwork. We'll go ahead and get everything, going. Looked up my name. Nothing. City or county. Nothing. And then it went to, I was being served to, it was being hand delivered by a veteran that they paid. That's the hill that they've been on about it all week, that it was hand delivered by a veteran. It wasn't. Unless the mailman is a veteran. Now, if the mailman's a veteran, that's the only way it could have been delivered by a veteran. Oh, wait, what? Bayou girl, how are you doing tonight? Boy, that's good stuff. I think about. Off-camera question: was it good or bad? The text I just got, was it good or bad? The pup is doing fine. She was, oh Lord, she was being a little aggravator last night. Most nights she sleeps in the bed with us. Last night she got to where she didn't want to sleep in the bed. And then about 5 o'clock this morning she decided she wanted back in the bed and she can't jump in it. So she just kind of pawed at the side of it until I picked her up, put her in the bed, and then she just wanted me to rub her and give her cuddles. And when I doze off, she'd lick me in the face and wake me up. She was being a princess last night. I imagine, I watched some of your lives by your girl, and like, y'all are really out there, like, in the bayou, like, fishing and stuff. Man, that's so cool. I remember a lot of wrestlers that had J and J in their name. Yeah, I remember a few that had J in their name, or J.W. Davis. That name sounds really familiar. You lost his leg. Dadgum. She is a Jack Russell Chihuahua mix. She must be over there with you. Oh, there she is. Hey, baby. They're talking about you. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Oh, I can't get the camera over good enough to see her. I got the cords all janked up. I ain't gonna pick you up because I'm cooking. That looks cool when y'all are out there doing it. Arkansas promoter. The name sounds so familiar. I probably know them if I've seen them. That's how I am with a lot of people. Like, I know, like, I've really had to been around you a lot to just know you by name. And not confuse you with anybody else. Hungry guy. Sonny, I've wrestled, I actually wrestled quite a few and been on the same shows with quite a few. My favorite ever to be in the ring with was Ricky Morton, though. I didn't get the spray, but I got the tongs. I opted to get the parchment paper, and that worked really good, but then I get too frustrated with it and then don't use it. So I got to get sprayed next time. Yeah, I can't remember exactly where Ricky's School of Wrestling was, Morton's School of Wrestling. He recently just closed it. I love Ricky Morton. He is one of a kind. Yeah. I mean, Robert was a good guy too. You know, Robert Gibson was his tag partner, and he was a great guy too. But I tell you, here's a little story in the next 8 minutes that I've got. It's not related to any of this other crap. I was about 19 years old, and I was going to have the chance to wrestle the Rock and Roll Express, and I was absolutely over the moon with it because Rock and Roll Express was, you know, I looked up to them was growing up. They were one of my favorite tag teams. And I was in there in the back, and they tell me, say, hey, this is who you're going to be in the ring with. And I'm like, all right, that's great. So, not to pull back the curtain too much, but I go over and I'm talking to them, and they find out that, you know, that's who they're working me and another guy that night. And Ricky goes, hey, man, you want to show that you're really cool and everything? I was like, yeah, man, sure. I'm 19 years old. I'm naive. I got 3 years wrestling experience at the time. He said, man, go over there. And he said, man, if you do this for me, he said, I'll take care of the kid. He said, go over there and ask Robert what he wants to do tonight. And he said, but when he looks up and starts talking to you, start moving around. That way he can see you in both eyes. Because Robert Gibson had a lazy eye. And he said, man, you do that, I'll take care of it. He talked me into it, and that was stupid. So I'll go over and I do that. And Robert immediately goes, man, F you, Ricky. And we're sitting there and everything, and they're like, okay, double drop kick for the go home. Robert looks at me, he goes, this kid takes it. Ricky never had the chance to put his feet on me because Robert drop kicked me so hard for making fun of his eyes that it knocked me down. And Ricky thought it was hilarious, every part of it. But he kicked me so hard in that double drop kick that he knocked me off my feet. And back then, I'm 6'4", 280. And I had his boot print right here. The next night, at the next show, I go in and this Rock and Roll Express is there again. And I'm not having the honor of wrestling, just the honor of sitting in the locker room and learning and being around them. And I take off my shirt to get dressed, and Robert looks over and he goes, kid, I'm sorry about that. And I looked up and I was like, no problem, but I wouldn't make eye contact with him. Just a little hazing, a little ribbing, what we call it in the business. I was just getting ribbed. Young kid. So I was lucky to be under the learning tree of Sir Mo from Men on a Mission from WWE for a long time. I was under his learning tree. Learned so much about it. Oh God, Dutch Mantel. Listen, early on in my career wrestling and in life, I couldn't grow a mustache, so I had a chin hair. And I had a long week. I didn't shave, so I had the chin hair and a little partial beard going into because I couldn't grow a good beard yet. And I go into the locker room, and Dutch Mantell is there on a 3-week angle at DCW here in Dyersburg. And he goes, "Kid, booking a show up north, and I would love to get you on the show with the look that you got." And I was like, "Man, that'd be great." He's like, "Here's the thing, though. I want you to be Amish." He said, "That beard you got reminds me of an Amish person." He said, "I want you to be this big Amish guy. You come out dressed up like an Amish guy, and you don't say anything, but you're just very violent. You're very mean." And I was just like, I hated every bit of that. And I'm like, I'm not going to drive 9 hours to do something that I really didn't like. And I told him, I said, "Hey man, I appreciate that offer." I said, "I'm trying to make it on my own look, my own name and everything. So much to respectfully decline." And then about 6 months later, the Angry Amish Chicken Plucker Roadkill became a star in ECW, the early ECW. And I was just sitting there and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I missed that opportunity. Because I didn't want to be an Amish character on TV. So, yeah, Roadkill could have been me if I'd have just went, "Yes, Mr. Mantell, that was great." Dutch was good, though. I love Dutch. Man. I officially haven't retired yet. I'm just not inactive. Like, I don't want to say I'm retired until I'm completely done. British Bulldogs was a heck of a tag team. Oh, that's cool, Sonny. I'm reading back comments while I was telling that story. I'm wanting one more match. I love that, like, a lot of people their memories are always like, me and my dad went to wrestling. I love that Carhartt Queen. Because I just, wrestling gets such a bad rep, but it's really something families have done. Dads and sons and daughters and stuff has bonded over professional wrestling for so many years. Me and your dad, Kim, didn't wrestle each other a whole lot. We were just always around each other. Didn't really hang out a whole lot in the locker room, but we always, we was cordial to each other. My wrestling name was the King of Violence, Tim Edwards. So, and I feel like I earned that name over the years because, yeah. But guys, my supper's done, and I'm hungry. It's 9:21, and I'm about to eat. For a long time, I went as the real deal Tim Edwards, but I was so violent in the ring. So, yeah, Kim, I feel old when I look at a lot of you kids. But guys, I'm getting off here. It's time to eat. Oh yeah! Look at that! Carnivore diet's in full effect tonight. We'll be back on sometime tomorrow. Thank everybody for coming in, talking, having a good night. Enjoyed it. Happy birthday to the streamer the scammer guy that's streaming me, and the woman, I don't know. Hope y'all have a good night. Ron, as soon as I get done eating, I'll send it to you. Hey, I'll catch y'all down the road. Every time I say that, I miss the button. There it is. Nope, not the button yet. There it is. There it is.